y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Today, I need to have a conversation with you. It is going to have to be a between the lines conversation. And I'm going to preface the conversation with a story so that you will understand where I'm going. And then I'm going to read the story to you. And then hopefully you will be able to use this information to do some things for your preps before the deadline ends. Okay, so I was married to a nurse, a combat medic, and a nurse for over 30 something years. And we were friends with a lot of doctors. And a lot of these doctors lived on farms because we lived in a rural area. And so they knew how to treat their animals when they got sick with over-the-counter medications. They also had access to things like antibiotics that would make whole their animals, but they were the same things that people used and they cost less. Additionally, you could just go into the pet store or the farm store or the tractor supply store, PetSmart, or you could order these, medications online. You could just go and get them. You did not need a prescription. You did not have to go to the veterinarian and, have a prescription. So it was really easy for these doctors slash farmers to heal their animals. But if they didn't have any medication from the vet, they would just use, the medications that they had from samples, so on and so forth. They don't do samples anymore because DEA and FDA, wanted to regulate those things. And they also wanted to make sure that poor people don't get free stuff. You have to buy it, and there's always, some money somewhere along the way that can be made. So that's part of the reason that they got rid of the samples. But that's not the story. The story is that, these doctors were using medications that we use sometimes when we're not well to heal ourselves. In particular, antibiotics. So anyway, I'm bringing you this story today because, in order for us to get antibiotics today, we have to go to a doctor. And the same medications that they give animals, they give to people. They just give it a different name. It costs less, and you don't have to have a prescription for it. That's the gist of it. And I learned that from my husband because my ex-husband, because when we had dogs, our dogs would they were country dogs. So they would go off and lap dirty water out of the creek or get cuts or whatever. And from time to time, they would get infections and need antibiotics. And so, if we had leftover antibiotics around the house, or we could just go to the pet store and get something, you just walk in, you get it. You don't have to talk to nobody, get what they need. And because he was a nurse, he knew what they needed. And just, go to the store, get it, bring it home, salve up my dog, or crush up the antibiotics in some, soft dog food or whatever and give it to him. And he was, they healed. But I, me not being in the medical profession, I had no clue that is how that worked. I thought there was some special medication for pets and that medication was different from the medication that we took when we were ill. Well, it comes to find out it's not. So, anywho, saying all that, let me read you this story and then let me close. This is a story from the University of Florida IFAS extension, and it is about the over-the-counter antibiotics will require a prescription beginning in June 2023. So if you have animals, or if you're going to set up a farm one day, if you're going to buy a pig or a cow or some chickens, maybe you're going to buy you some dogs and things, and you need to have all the things in your home so that you can take care of your animals, then you need to go and buy those supplies. Or maybe you have fish, and your fish are going to probably get sick sometime in the future. You want to be able to have those things. You don't want to have to take your whole fish bowl to the veterinarian to get a prescription for something that you can purchase on your own right now without one. Okay, so let's get into my story. Sorry I had to take the long route, but y'all know how they be doing us. Okay, in 2017, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, began implementing the guidance for the industry, number 213, otherwise known as Veterinary Feed Directive. And the other thing I want to connect this to is it is also connected to this one world government that we're getting ready to come into. They got to control everything. And they don't want you to be able to just do things on your own. They need to have a system where they control everything, where they can benefit financially from everything, and where we are overly inconvenienced. So this is an inconvenience to farmers, and farmers may not go to vets anymore. They may bypass that process, and you may be eating unwell flesh. So that's the other thing that we need to take away from this story, is that uh, eating animal meat in the future may not be the safest thing for us. So if you're not growing your own food, which is also why you need to have your own stuff now, if you're planning on having it, you should go and get it so that when you do need it, you will have it. Or if not, you're going to have to pay a veterinarian, then you're going to have to get a prescription, then you have to go buy the medication. It's just going to be extra money, but that's the goal of this, so that the healthcare system and the pharmaceutical system can benefit and track at the same time. Okay. Um, so, number 213, otherwise known as the Veterinary Feed Directive, implementation of the VFD focused on veterinary oversight of medically important antibiotics delivered to livestock via feed or water, leaving a significant loophole for those products that were available over the counter by other dosage forms. Because of this, on June 11, 2021, the Food and Drug Administration quietly published guidance for industry number 263, which put in motion the framework to remove any remaining medically important antimicrobials from the over-the-counter marketing channels, closing this loophole. So basically, farmers are going to be like people. You can't just go in America. You won't be able to just go and get yourself an antibiotic, even though you know you have an infection and you're sick. You got to go make an appointment, go to the doctor, get a prescription, then go to the pharmacy and pick up the prescription, hope they have it. Also, keep in mind that a lot of the ingredients for these antibiotics come from overseas. And as we enter into WW3, there is going to be a drug shortage. So it's really important for you to get the things that your animals are going to need now or in the future. Guidance number 263 recommends sponsors of medically important antimicrobial drugs that continue to be available over the counter and approved for use in animals, companion, and food producing. That means if your dog, fish, bird gets sick, you need to have these medications. regardless of delivery mechanism, to voluntarily bring these products under veterinary oversight or prescription marketing status. These product labels will now contain the prescription RX statement. Caution, federal law restricts this drug to use by or on the order of a licensed veterinarian. While very little information about guidance number 263 was aimed towards livestock producers, this may have significant impacts on the way in which livestock owners are able to access antibiotic therapy for their animals. While this change does not require the purchase of products from a veterinarian, going forward, producers will be legally required to obtain a prescription from a licensed veterinarian with which the producer has a valid veterinary client-patient relationship. So it's going to require people who have animals and pets to go to a vet, and that vet has to be, registered with your state or however, and you have to have a regular relationship. So it's not like you're just going to be able to uh, just roll up and get a prescription and leave. You're going to have to actually, it's going to be like going to the doctor. You're going to have to fill out paperwork. You're going to have to give data. At the end of the day, that's what all this is about. It's about tracking. What this means for many producers is that products that they may have purchased from local feed store, farm supply, or local co-op may no longer be on those store shelves. Much like when the Veterinary Feed Directive was put in place in 2017. Some of these businesses may simply pull these products from store shelves and decline to offer products as they do not have the framework in place to meet the legal burden as acting as a pharmacy, which requires the ability to review veterinary authorized prescriptions and track refills, or get the tracking piece of those prescription products. For those that do continue to stock these products on the shelves, producers will have to produce a prescription prior to purchasing. Those producers who already have a VCPR in place and purchase their annual animal health products through their veterinary office, or who purchase through other distributors under an existing prescription system, will likely notice little change in their ability to source these products. However, those producers that don't consult a veterinarian on a regular basis will need to establish a valid VCPR prior to purchasing these products as they start to disappear from over-the-counter access. While the definition of a valid VCPR does vary from state to state, Nebraska's definition of a valid VCPR is outlined in the Nebraska Veterinary Medicine and Surgery Practice Act as follows. So I'm not going to read all that. But what is important is to see the medications that fall under these categories. And these are things that you can get for your future farms and your animals now that you can just go and get before the deadline. Understand what I'm saying? When Guidance number 263 was published on June 11th, 2021, it was structured with a 2-year phase-in for manufacturers of these products to make label changes and come into compliance with guidance so that they would be able to continue marketing their products without interruption. All products covered under Guidance number 263 are to be removed from OTC, over-the-counter availability, by June 11th, 2023. So the last day to buy your pets meds, your future farm meds, is June 11th, 2023. So I recommend, if you can, try to get those things now before the end of the month. I have been stocking up for my chicken farm, my future chickens. Yeah, I have things for my future chickens. And, other people's dogs might be in need. We're going to need some dogs to hunt. And whatever else come through that might need healing, I'm a woman. I'm a healer, so gotta be prepared. The expectation is that producers will see similar products start to disappear from store shelves as OTC products over the next 14 months as manufacturers finalize label changes and refine their marketing and distribution channels to assure compliance with prescription requirements. It is important to remember that these critical products are not being removed from the marketplace, but instead being brought under veterinary oversight in order to combat overuse and misuse due to OTC access. And basically, they don't want people have figured out that the meds is the same and you don't have to have a prescription for them if you just go buy the animal stuff. Same dosage, same everything. So people, were just basically going into the pet stores and getting those medications that they need without the added burden of going to the doctor, filling out information, billing your insurance, or having to, just spend money that you may not have or divulge information that you don't want to divulge. So that's the other piece too. It's about control. So it's going to be a real inconvenience for farmers and people who have pets, but Uncle Sam will be happy. And so will the W and the E and the F and the W and the H and the O. All right, y'all. Get your pet meds by June 11th, 2023, because they will no longer be available over the counter. That's the takeaway. Get your future farm animal things out of the way. All right. This is Marley K. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to my Odyssey and my Rumble channels in the event this channel is taken down. And remember to get the things that your animals may need. Time is running out. You don't have that much more time, people. And things are available online as well, but I noticed those things are quickly disappearing. So people who have money are purchasing these things in bulk so that they will have them. So if you can get your animals medications, um, antibiotics, they're good. They'll be golden. They will be golden. And again, there's a list of the medications here in this thing. And one more thing, the medications are in injectable form as well as a like a salve form, and in the pill form, like what we take, same dosage and everything. So, your animals will be happy. All right, y'all. This is Marley K. I'm out.